Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers,
I'm Will Leggetter.
and today we're doing something completely new. Now, this is a film, and I think I like this formatting. It's hard because I have seen a lot of films. So,
Have you?
yes, um, my Tom's tips for watching more films: lose all social contact with people and not have any friends for a long period of your life. um, and you get to watch more films. So, who's the winner?
You do.
And I'm happy for it. So what we're doing today, for the past, we have known our wonderful guest today, Katrina Unitt. Give us a hello, before I keep rambling.
Hi.
We have known wonderful Katrina for. I was trying to figure it out. It's going on 4.5 years.
4
Isn't it?
years. No, it's 4
Oh, it'll be
years.
4 years exactly. Yeah, because it's terms.
Yeah.
And you're a great friend, and all we have heard is about how much you adore your favourite film in the world, Sliding Doors.
Have you ever wondered what might have been? Would things be different if you caught the train instead of missing it? How much would your life change if you were 10 minutes early?
Hello?
Instead of 10 minutes late?
Helen? If I had just caught that train, I'd have been home ages ago.
You just don't want to go wondering about things like that.
Now, Helen's life is about to go down two different tracks. Gwyneth Paltrow and Gwyneth Paltrow in the story of a woman about to choose between a life with a man she's always loved
Jerry, I asked a simple question. There's no need to become Woody Allen.
and a life with a man she's just met.
I kissed you.
Yeah, I spotted that too.
Intermedia Films and Mirage Enterprises present a romantic comedy about one woman
I'm over him.
No, you're not.
I am.
and life's infinite possibilities.
Now, I'd never seen Sliding Doors. Will had never seen Sliding Doors. I knew the premise because, as we know, I'm a bit Rain Man-y. I know that it's Gwyneth Paltrow. I know that it's Jean Triplehorn. I know that it's John Hannah. I know that it's this dueling timelines thing, but I'd never actually seen it.
Don't think that
I didn't think that.
I'm truly, truly sorry.
Once in my life, I won't let sorrow hurt me, not like it's hurt me before. For once in my life.
Two lives, two chances, and a destiny that lies behind two sliding doors. A film by Peter Howitt.
For once in my life, I have someone who needs me.
So, Katrina, did you know anything about it, Will, other than that sort of bystanding view of Katrina?
I'd say I never cottoned on that sliding doors meant the tube station. I always imagined I was that behind I think you talked about it a lot during sort of our A-level drama writing sessions.
Yep.
And all I could imagine was, those sort of Japanese sliding walls.
Oh, right,
I
okay.
thought it was one of them.
Like paper screens, that kind of thing.
You still didn't understand why it was called Sliding Doors, Will, until that final elevator, did you? or was it the scene where she finds out that he's married and she stands in front of the automatic doors and they keep shutting and opening?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that very much. But Katrina, why don't you tell us a bit about what is arguably your favourite film?
What's there to say? What can I say that hasn't already been said?
By nobody.
Let's be real. It's not a popular film. It's very rare I meet someone who's ever seen it. I first watched it because we were in France and a family friend had lots of the Daily Mail free DVDs.
This is exactly
Oh, yes.
that sort of movie. If I could. This and The Jazz Singer.
And
then,
West Side Story.
Yeah, and I had never seen it, so we all watched it, and I was like, what a wonderful film. And from there on, it was just my favourite film. I think Gwyneth Paltrow is a great actress.
It's wonderful, yeah.
Questionable person, but a good actress.
Yes.
And I don't know, it's one of my comfort films.
Mm.
I know what I'm getting out of it. I know exactly what's going to happen. I can just sit back. I can watch it. It's not the best film I've ever seen, but it's my favorite.
Your love of this film, not to name any names, but you didn't like a teacher, and then your opinion of that teacher slightly changed when they revealed that their favourite film was Sliding Doors.
Yeah, I was like, maybe he's not that bad.
It was like a
Then-
weird thing because you never expect
was.
anybody to say Sliding Doors. It was like, well, I like really clever films where it's an idea, so I like Sliding Doors. And you, to be crude, you just went,
Yeah.
ah.
I remember one of my first weeks of uni, because obviously I do media. I said like, oh, what's everyone's favourite films? And it's lots of film bros being like, Pulp Fiction and like Inception, and then even the girls were like saying the same kind of thing. And then I'm like, my favourite film is Sliding Doors.
So that in that scenario, I'd be like Ratatouille and Chicken Run, and I would be very quickly unfriended.
Yesterday,
Media
I
bunch.
was doing some scheduling at the dinner table with my sister because I had to do some scheduling, blah blah blah. And I said, and now I need to move Ratatouille. And my sister very loudly said, his favourite film is Ratatouille and Chicken Run, with the most disdain. More disdain than I've ever said it with. So.
Oh, I was hoping that would be.
I like those films.
They're great
They're fine
films.
films. They're fine films.
Fun fact: the scene where Remy gags it's been memed a lot, smelling the soup, and it goes like that. It's actually impossible for rats to gag. So
No, they don't have a gag reflex.
the soup that Alfredo Linguini makes must have been pretty bad.
Right. Which is why poppers aren't a very big thing amongst the gay population of rats.
Yeah.
I once read a spy novel as a very young child, and like the opening scene was it was a politician who was closeted, and so they killed him in a gay bar, and there was a very long graphic description of what poppers were, and I was like, I'm just trying to read this spy novel. It's like the detective was like, he was using anal nitrate because it makes him have a bigger gag reflex when he's going down on guys. And I thought this was Tinker Tailor.
My favourite scene in Sliding Doors is also where Helen uses poppers. Oh, it's my favourite scene, actually.
She does make a reference to blowjobs.
She does?
To the director.
also-
Did you know that
she
that's
also-
the director?
I did not.
That's Peter Howitt.
She also makes a reference to Woody Allen.
She sure does.
Yeah, Tom definitely picked up on that.
Anyway, let's jump into Sliding Doors.
Do it.
I mean, it'll go through. I'm gonna say something now. So, Katrina, the last film that we had you on for was About Time, which is another very British.
Sci-fi rom.
Yeah, I'd say bending time movie, and I'm just gonna come out with it now. I can not see myself watching About Time for a very long time. It didn't do it for me. I loved Sliding Doors, Katrina.
Oh my god, did you?
I really loved
That makes
Sliding
me
Doors.
so happy. I'm not even kidding.
And I can see myself watching Sliding Doors again. Unlike, I wish that I had a Blu-ray of Sliding Doors. I wish that I'd bought the DVD of About Time. I wish I had a Sliding Doors moment where, I mean, I don't want my excitement to come off as if this is a masterpiece. But it was a very enjoyable film. I'm a big fan of Gwyneth Paltrow.
Right?
That's the bit that my mum doesn't like about the film.
Yeah, Shakespeare in Love. I don't like Shakespeare in Love, and obviously that's her best actress, and that's where people started turning on her because she was, crying very excessively, and it came off a little bit fake. And so that was the bit where people were against her a little bit. But talented Mr. Ripley, phenomenal. 7, I think she is,
Ugh.
dare I say, the heart of the film. You know,
She's the only good bit. She's like the best character in that.
You're gonna say she's the only good bit of 7?
I mean, like the only like good like normal person.
Yeah, she certainly has a head on her shoulders.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
good one. Oh, good one.
Thank you.
I don't know. I just always liked her character in that.
I do too.
Oh,
I
I've
think
got
the scene. I think the scene about the
Yeah.
pregnancy with Morgan Freeman is one of the best scenes in the film. And then Kevin Spacey. Oh, he didn't know. Oh, very good film. And I'm sure we will do 7. And I'm sure if you want to come on, Katrina, you can come on.
Oh.
Will, what was your opinion? What was your brief opinion of Sliding Doors?
I enjoyed Sliding Doors.
Hmm.
I don't think I enjoyed it as much as you, Tom. That's because I like really bad cartoons. No, I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I will probably watch it again. Yeah.
Yay!
YouTube comments. Who's here after watching Kimmy Schmidt's Sliding Doors episode? Do you watch Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Katrina?
I've seen like the first few episodes, but I had no idea there was a Sliding Doors episode.
There's also a Sliding Doors episode of Frasier, which is great. The Frasier episode's wonderful.
Is there a Sliding Doors episode of Community? I
Oh,
don't know if it's Sliding Doors, but it's like
it's not Sliding Doors. There's the
different-
the dice one.
Yeah.
There's
That's probably the
5
best one.
realities.
I love Community.
Yeah, Community is good. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, I did the first season. It's just not 30 Rock. I love 30 Rock, and I think that 30 Rock's infinitely better. Important movie when you feel you've missed your train, and how that's exactly what's better for you for the long run outcomes.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't die.
Yeah, the version where she missed the train, she ended up surviving. So true.
Moral of the story is sometimes it's better if you miss the train, because in the end you risk becoming a Karen. I don't think. either of
That's a reference to her bloody haircut.
Oh, is it? I'm not down with the kids. I know that a Karen is an annoying white woman who moans.
Yeah,
I didn't know
think
it was
it's a
specifically
haircut.
hair-based as well. A beautiful actress acting alongside 2 simps. Phew. Strongly disagree. Jerry, I mean, we'll get to Jerry.
A
Jesus
terrible
Christ.
human being.
When it like the Ku Klux Klan leader in Birth of a Nation and Ralph Fiennes in Schindler's List are 2 of the most abominable characters of all time. But Jerry in Sliding Doors is also pretty bad.
I hate him. I also hate his friend Russell. Oh,
Yeah, what characters? Well, we'll get to this.
terrible. Yeah.
However, John Hannah is not a simp. Does simp stand for something? Again,
I've been called a simp.
So basically,
Oh, I can see that.
for all the podcast listeners who don't know what a simp is, and to educate you two, as I'm down with the kids,
Yes.
a simp is basically a man who does things for women without receiving like any, and she never shows interest, but he'll do like loads of things for her and like
A friend zone.
kind of, but more like, you know, those really try hard
Groveling.
and
Do you want me to
like-
say that? Okay.
yeah, that kind of thing. But now on the internet, it's kind of devolved into a man is nice to a woman, simp.
Yeah.
A man doesn't hate a woman, simp. Do you know what I mean? It's basically
I remember
a
when
it's
Cook.
turned into like a sexist term now.
I remember
kind
when
of similar to
Cook.
Cook.
Yeah, that was a big thing with the kids. Cookholding.
I said that when I was playing Enobarbus in Antony and Cleopatra. That's a throwback.
But
And
yeah,
I said that in an argument with an ex-lover.
I keep getting lens flares. Sorry, I don't know.
J.J. Abrams is correcting your.
But yeah, so I would strongly disagree with that comment because James is just a nice person.
You could say he's a bit friend-zoney for a while, but I mean, there is a momentary lapse of concentration, and
he's what many would call he's too nice, which is
a problem because women
an issue.
like bastards.
I am a bastard.
I know that they don't. I know that they don't, Katrina, and I know that you always get annoyed because I always go, women don't like nice guys because I was a nice guy, and then the next
you were
guy
a nice guy. What happened next?
turned into taxi driver because Sybil Shepherd left me. No, and you know, the other guy was, you know, a typical just waste of space, but he was a rugby guy. Yeah, he was a rugby guy. So I naturally, and I don't think, you know, I'm reading too much into it of like, no, women don't like the nice, you know.
I disagree because James is like my dream man from Sliding Doors, and I'm glad
and
I watched.
Paltrow is my dream woman.
Right? Helen's wonderful in that film. James is great. I want to be Anna. I feel like that's the kind of friend that I am.
Oh yes. Yeah, especially when she's on the phone and stretching for no reason.
She's just such an odd character.
Oh no, the bloody door slid. There was two of them. Is that a reference to something?
Heck if I know.
And a bit of philosophy now from William Crowe. Too bad real life doesn't deal in ifs.
I mean, that depends who you're talking to, because some physicists would argue that there are infinite things happening.
There are no accidents.
Everything you do is an if.
They did make a musical of this. Well, no, not of
Sliding Doors.
Not of Sliding Doors. They made a musical with the exact same thing, called If Then, with Idina Menzel, and apparently it was just
Adele Dazeem.
With a wickedly talented Adele Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem.
And apparently it was just a big old mess because, you know, they didn't, for starters, they didn't have the hair change, which arguably is the reason this film works.
Yeah, it genuinely is. Like, I think there are parts where it's very hard. Oh, well, not for me, because I know exactly who's what and what. But, like, I can imagine that coming in and watching it with fresh eyes, you're like, hold on, how come she's with him now? And
I was never confused with Helen, but for the entire film, Jerry and Jean Triplehorn, I had no idea which timeline they were having sex in, which timeline she was pregnant in, until the final cutting between the rain and the Jean Triplehorn's evil scheme.
She's so evil in this film.
She's really mean. I was just deciding whether or not to have your boyfriend's baby. Real evil piece of work. Best 10-minute stretch. Katrina, why don't you lead us?
See, I've been thinking about this, and I like the bit where they're talking in the boat and they have their first kiss. But I'm not quite sure if that's 10 minutes.
No, I think that's a good single minute. But we can talk about it now.
I think it's a bit longer than a minute.
I know, but we're loosey-goosey.
Because then they have the sexy times. And then she wakes up and she finds the no of him being like, now that was a big lapse in concentration or judgment or whatever he says. And then she turns over and she's like, and then she goes serious and then she smiles again. I'm just like, oh, you know, when you first like someone and like you get like a nice text off them. I just love that bit. And their first kiss is so sweet and romantic.
It's a good kiss. Me and Will are very keen on noticing good and bad kissing in movies, and this is a good kiss.
Well, it's just not a Jimmy Stewart later on
kissing every part of the kissing every inch of the face, and also it looks like good sex. It looks nice,
right?
Yeah, it looks,
two people very compatible.
Yeah,
he seems like a giver.
Yes, I have no doubt that Jerry hasn't performed cunnilingus in a very, very long time, if ever. But I'm sure that it's the first thing James did.
Oh yeah, for definite. So that's my favourite 10-minute stretch. I think adding on that part and then the note the morning after makes the 10.
Yeah, her little wry smile It's a good note.
Mm.
I think you've got it spot on. That sort of. I mean, I wouldn't know, but I'm sure it's nice to get a nice text after.
I
lovely
also
evening of love.
don't know. So
Yeah.
But you'll find true love and tenderness on the blood. But you'll find true love and tenderness on the blood. She was wide-eyed, now she's streetwise to the lies.
Cheer up. You know what the Monty Python boys say?
Nobody expects a Spanish Inquisition.
Tenderness on the blood. Yeah, she's gonna find true love. She's gonna find true love. She's gonna find true love.
We can only dream, or just rewatch Sliding Doors.
is that?
Any other nominations for 10-minute stretch?
from me,
Yeah.
I mean, not chaotic is the bit where it's switching between the two women, and there's the bit where she gets bloody bulldozed by the van that just comes.
That's my 10-minute stretch. Starting
really
from like
didn't expect.
the direct copy of It's a Wonderful Life on the bridge, and then going to.
There's many scenes with people on bridges. Right, here's the thing. I know that it's a beautiful moment, and they're in the rain and stuff. But would you? And I've had the.
I'd say
long,
let's
depressive
go
walk of the
inside
soul.
somewhere.
Yeah, I've had the long depressive walk
It's
of the
freezing.
soul, and I've been like, oh, I'm going to sit in the rain, but it's torrential rain. I don't know if I could stand there that long, because it doesn't matter how depressed you are. At a certain point, you do go, yeah, but
Oh, it's a bit chilly.
in half an hour, I do have to go home and I have to cry in my own room, and I'm going to have all these wet clothes.
Yeah, and I can't remember. She's either wearing like a leather or a wool coat, and neither are nice in the rain.
True, but accidental rain, like getting caught in the rain when you're running with a lover, is great. Yeah, that's no. When you are running, no. So you are going back to a hotel. It's very specific memory, but you are going back to a hotel. So it doesn't matter how wet your clothes get, because they're immediately going to go off when you're going to bed. So no, I don't mean that way.
I wear my clothes.
I wear my sodden wet clothes to bed. But like, if you're running in the rain, and it doesn't matter how wet you're going to get, because your clothes are going to go off straight away. There's nothing better. And you're in Liverpool.
I'd be shouting many a curse word, complaining the whole way, and then having a go at the receptionist for the rain.
You would have a go at the receptionist for a...
Why is there
Poor
rain?
minimum wage.
woman working at an Ibis.
Yeah.
Katrina, what's a male Karen?
Oh, there is a word, isn't there?
A will.
Oh, I was going to
From
say
now on,
Kevin.
we're going to call them a will.
A will.
I have the restaurant opening. I think it just looks
Yeah.
fun. She looks great with the little flowers in her hair.
I
and it's
love the little flowers in her
Yeah.
hair.
I think it's a beautiful black dress. John Hannah's very nice. You know, how refreshing was it that there wasn't the scene of John Hannah? Like, I know that there's the 5 minutes where they don't talk, so he's clearly a bit annoyed. Not annoyed, but he's clearly like...
But he does it in a nice, he's doing
Yeah.
it for a nice reason.
How
as well.
refreshing was it that we didn't have to sit through the 5-minute argument of, where did you kiss him? Wait, are you still in love with
Yeah,
him?
'cause
You're
she
still in love with
clearly
him?
did not want to be
Yes.
kissed as well.
No,
He's
I
like
know.
very much like,
That is my least favorite thing in films. When the woman or the guy who's the ex or whatever kisses the person and then the new person walks in, nothing gives me more anxiety and fury than that in movies, because they didn't mean to, and they never understand, because why would you understand? And,
there's never any communication. Even in the films, there's a lack
communication
of
lets you down.
communication. But I like the restaurant opening. Again, Jerry, I just don't like him.
Have either of you watched The Fall? The Gillian Anderson, Mr. Grey, Jamie Dornan detective show. It's very good.
I've seen it. It's been suggested for me.
It's very good, and it's Scottish. No, sorry, he's
Ooh.
Irish. He's Irish, isn't he, Jerry? And he's the lead police chief. So for like the first half an hour, I was like, who is he? Because now he's got a full beard, and he's very nice also in the fall. So
very nice.
I didn't understand. It's like, why isn't he nice? Yeah. I also have date/commiserations. I think that's the scene where the dual timelines works best with the creative editing, the creative camera work of them both being in the same bar. I think that's when it's at its best. I have a lot of changes which we'll get to. And more so
as do I.
Little things. But
Oh
not too many. Not too many. They're more like
Just
observations. They're more observations than changes.
Okay, yeah.
But we'll break
I
it down.
have some things I would also change.
Will, any other nominations for 10-minute stretch other than the morbid death/paralysis?
Falling down the stairs.
No.
No. Tom's Wheeler's specific favourite parts of the film. Again, I didn't really know where to put things. The tube guy singing his song. I've been on the tube a lot
like in
now.
About Time.
Oh, that too. Jesus Christ. That's another yeah.
So they've ripped off Sliding Doors with that scene.
Yeah.
But with a worse song.
The worst song, and just with everything's worse in About Time.
Read my blog.
I had to. The tube guy. Nobody sings that. Nobody does this. They just don't. And I know
I don't know. People are a bit weird. I've had like people see it on the bus before, and I've been a bit like,
yeah, I guess. Lady shagging Godiva.
oh my god! Why did they use the word shagging so much? Lydia stubbed her toe. She's like, I've stubbed my shagging toe. And it's
yes.
like,
it's so weird.
They do that in
the American
Torchwood as well.
Yeah. But it's so weird in G Triplehorn's American voice. I've never heard an American. Like, it's that weird thing of Americans who have either lived in England. Like, Amelia is our American. Oh, she's not an American exchange, but she's doing all 3 years of the course. So she's lived in England now for 2 years. And sometimes she says things that are British. And it's like, ugh! It just. And I don't hide my disgust. And it's like in Terminator, where he does people's voices and it doesn't match because he's Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he's doing the voice of. Have you ever heard? Has anybody ever used the phrase "you look like suicide on a stick"?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that isn't it?
Right, Will, you can help me on this.
Hello.
Let's break down this Monty Python thing. Because half of them don't actually make any sense. So is the joke that
it doesn't make sense?
The joke is that it doesn't make sense of
what Python surrealism.
No. I'm talking about specifically the nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Yes.
Is the joke that I'm supposed to say always look on the bright side of life, but ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something that's not expected.
Yeah, but they used it too many times.
They use it far too many times.
That's one of my things that I would change. They should have only used it in their one time when they were meeting. It's like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
That's funny. Didn't expect that.
And also, it's not the end line. It certainly shouldn't be the ending. I know, bookends and all that, and it's fate and all that.
And then at the end, they're like, oh.
And it does that really awkward freeze frame.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The kiss fail. Again, we talked. We talked. About
on the boats.
But the fail kiss.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's really rough.
But like at the same time, it's like, you so get it though. Because like when you're going through like a breakup, like I didn't want anything like that, and you know, people, and you're just like, oh, and he's so nice, but she's not ready yet. And it looks like a very sweet moment. And I understand why he went in for the kiss, and I'm glad that she then went in.
Yeah, I don't want to get into dangerous territory of like, she was giving off bad signals and like all that sort of business. But the problem is that then she does go through, and I know that your opinions can change and all that. And I would completely do what James does and halt, but the way that she says no, and then it's, oh, I know this is an opportune kissing moment, and then she does it. What specifically changes in that moment? Does she have the moment of, I want to kiss him, but I'm saying no? What do you think's going through her head in that moment, Katrina? In between the kiss
it's all
fail
still
and
very fresh, isn't it? She wants to be sure.
Is it
Yeah, and I
fresh though?
think-
It's been a while.
I think that here's how I take that moment.
Yes.
So she's having a good time, and she's like, she's just laughing, she's having a really good time, and then he tries to kiss her, and suddenly the mood changes, doesn't it? It does. It goes from being, here's someone I really like and is platonic with, but I'm still getting over that guy, like Jerry. But now, and then he tries to kiss her, and now she's thinking, oh wait, he is an option, as in like, she probably wasn't thinking like, oh yeah, here's someone I could actually be with. But him trying to kiss her, sometimes it's very confusing, and all these emotions. And I always take it that she's like, oh, someone else does want to kiss me. I'm not undesirable, And then when she's thinking, and then when she goes in to kiss him, I think she's like, she realizes that she's been enjoying spending time with him more than she ever enjoyed spending time with Jerry. Because like when you look at their relationship, awful, terrible.
Mind you, they do seem to have a good night on their little date. Mind you, he's just getting pissed.
Yeah.
They do seem to have a nice night on their little Grolsch date.
But I think you can have nice times, but it's about how someone makes you feel as well.
Oh yeah.
And I think that James makes her feel good.
Yes. This is probably going to change. The very long Gary Glitter monologue.
With Pamela.
Which has aged like a fine wine. She was 8 and she left me for Gary Glitter.
Oh,
David Cassidy, sure, but not Gary Glitter. The bed note.
Maybe he knew.
Everybody knew. This is the thing that people don't like. People do understand, but they don't understand. Everybody knew that Jimmy Savile. Everybody knew them. This is the thing. That's the worst part about it.
So I think that was an intentional dig at Gary Glitter.
Like, what was it? Frank Skinner and David Baddiel, who always used to slip it into their radio. Was it their radio show or their TV? And they were like, "Have you heard that thing about Jimmy Savile?" And then, like, so they'd come back from ad breaks and they'd be halfway through a conversation about Jimmy Savile, and it'd be like, but they wouldn't say his name, and it'd be like, "Oh yeah, I heard he likes dead bodies. Oh, hello everybody." Yeah. Did you know where that comes from? That was very morbid tangent. So basically, he was obsessed with death, Jimmy Savile, and the people conflate the necrophilia thing. Where there's no actual evidence that he was a necrophiliac, but there was a written record that he interfered with a dead body because he stole somebody's glass eye from a dead body because he was so obsessed with death. But obviously on the record, it goes down as interfered with a dead body. So you jump to necrophilia. Very morbid tangent. The pregnancy, when she keeps trying to ring Jerry, and then she puts the phone down and she goes, and I just thought I'd tell you, I'm pregnant. One of the big things that's surrounding this sort of ominous shadow, is the accent. And I actually don't think it's that bad at all. I think there are a few moments.
Perfectly passable.
Yes. Gene Triplehorn at the window. And, oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh, Jesus Christ!
There is, as it goes...
And then she's like, what is it? And he's like, oh, so exciting that you heard back from a job.
As the film goes on, I won't say I like Jerry more, but I like Jerry as the sort of fumbling, the Woody Allen type of the sort of, I'm trying to juggle.
She literally calls him Woody Allen.
Yeah. I could watch a movie, because we love Helen so much that we hate Jerry, but I could watch a bit of a movie where Jerry's trying to fumble about, I don't know. And then just enough to break your heart when, because when the doctor comes to John Hannah and goes, "Are you her husband?" And he goes, "We're getting married." Why does he say we're getting married?
Because maybe he was thinking about proposing.
It's a bit presumptuous, isn't he?
I'm sorry.
Oh God, James, don't. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I know this is an ideal sort of kissing moment, night, moon, boat, water lapping. It's perfect, and I'm not feeling that it would be nice. But I don't really know anything about you, and I'm still on a rebound. Oh God, I hate that word, but I am.
Oh, who isn't? Everyone is. I'm on the rebound myself, in a way.
So who are you on the rebound from?
A girl called Pamela. My whole life pivots around Pam and I breaking up.
When was that?
1973, we were 8. I bloody loved that woman. No warning, just up, gone, left me for somebody else.
Who?
Gary Glitter. Gary Glitter, for crying out loud.
I mean, it's a very touching moment, and obviously that death is beautiful.
I just love John Hannah.
John Hannah's great.
He's very good at doing the I'm a funny guy. Oh, now I'm
Stop
sad.
all the clocks.
Oh, stop!
This
Gets
is a
me going every
poem I
time.
saw in the motion picture. Will's more general favourite past the film.
Hello. I've got Benny and the Jets.
Here's right. I had this in chain/question/. Could you have sex to Elton John's greatest hits?
No.
Especially not Honky Cat. Right. Well, I've never been a sex and music guy. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I don't like listen to just the charts or whatever, and everything's sort of slow R&B, sexy. I guess you could call it sexy music, and general.
Bump and grind.
Yeah, I don't listen to I don't listen to bump and grind music. If I put on my general playlist on shuffle, the song I'd be having sex to would be Tom Jones' "Help Yourself," followed by followed by "Brilliant Disguise" by Bruce Springsteen. That'd be good.
Oh,
"Dance Yourself Dizzy" by Liquid Gold. Black Velvet by Alana Miles. That's pretty sexy. I could go for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that this is just a me thing. I know that many people can't have sex without music. I mean, they can, but anyway. But definitely not
just
the
quite
greatest
like
hits of Elton John.
I quite like the sassy line when she's like, she walks in and she could have said anything. She'd have called him anything, but she just goes, "I didn't think you liked Elton John." I think that's great.
What about the bit when he comes and he goes, when he comes, but he comes in time with Benny and the Jets, and he's like, oh, Benny and the Jets.
And she's like, oh, and he's like, oh my God.
When he first realizes she's there and he's like trying to That's funny.
It goes on for far too. I know that Jean Tripplehorn can't see, and she just thinks that he's into it. But yeah, because he does finish.
Yeah,
can
I mean,
see
he's
it in his
finishing
face.
just as
Yeah.
she walks in.
Bad timing.
Bad old Simon.
And
yeah.
I've also got that bit where she redials the phone and calls
calls Lydia back.
the other missus. I like that bit. I like that.
I don't think we need to do Oscar travesty this week. I don't know if there's an Oscar travesty.
I think it should have been nominated for all of the Oscars.
Everything.
The travesty was that it was snubbed at the Oscars by not even getting nominated.
Yes. Will's
Sure.
favourite building or set?
Yay! That's a nice bedroom. When he's pretending that she's a noisy neighbour with the bedpost and that's a nice room.
Oh, the
restaurant.
The hotel place, the hotel in Dorset. Yeah.
That bedroom. I'd probably go for that. It's quite grandiose.
Best single minute.
I like.
Oh, sorry. Go on, Katrina. Do you have?
I was gonna say I liked his mate's restaurant. Like during the restaurant scene, it's very lively and happy. And...
Terrible name, Clive's Bar and Restaurant.
Yeah, not one I'd choose.
Yeah, especially when it's supposed to be a bit bougie, which it clearly is, and like is influenced by this Pierre Claude. Is Pierre Claude a real guy, Will?
I think he is.
Or do they just throw out a French name generator?
It's a French painter. There you go.
Ah. What's the two Ronnies in the? What does John Renee say? Paint strippers. Best single minute. I've got the first meet between the tube between James and Helen. It's a nice meet cute.
Yeah, definite.
Is that her stop?
See, I don't know. I think she was gravitated towards him straight away.
Yeah. And she's gonna walk with him. But surely she's gonna have to get back onto the tube.
No, because depending on what stop she's at, she could only be like a 5-minute walk or a 10-minute walk.
True.
Or maybe it was her stop. Maybe it was her stop.
We never know. We never know. I have the diner again, the sort of introduction of the sort of
when they're having the milkshakes and
when
stuff.
they're having the milkshakes.
And she's like, "Oh, my friend Anna thinks you're cute," and he's like, "Cute? Your friend Anna?" And I could have spent the money on her.
£2.85. I think James. I think is this. I know it's completely removing the entire conceit of the film. Is this movie infinitely better if it's an hour? No, it's not. I'm going to answer my own question because then it's just a boring rom-com, and we've seen that a million times. And even though Gwyneth Paltrow and John Hannah have great chemistry,
I like the. They did have really great chemistry.
Yeah, I can see a sort of a sliding doors universe where they become a Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, and they do a couple of films together. But
yeah, I could have seen that.
Except they have chemistry, unlike Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. The reason that Sleepless in Seattle works is because they don't share any screen time.
I mean, I thought You've Got Mail was a brilliant film.
Never liked You've Got Mail, I have to say.
I know, that's why I said it.
I like The Terminal. It's not got Meg Ryan in it. It's just a nice.
It's a good film.
It's my favorite Spielberg.
I like Top Gun. Doesn't have to mind. It's got Meg Ryan in. Take me to bed, lose me forever. And the end is a little bit messy. I feel the whole. Like I get it. I mean, the end. You see the ending a mile off. You know. As soon as she dies, you're like, okay, but she's going to meet John Hannah in the other one, and then you can figure out that they're going to, have the lovely life that they should have had together, with in her real reality. But it is messy, and the song comes in, and she drops the earring again. But in this reality, they've already dropped the earring. They've already done that, so they're repeating that.
I suppose it's just a callback to the first thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cute.
I guess. Best line. Take us away, Katrina. I'm sure you have an abundant.
See, there's a bit where Jerry's like, Helen's in there, and she's got blonde hair, and there's a bunch of men, and it's like, how did you notice that was her? Like, she's got completely different hair. She's not facing the window.
In a crowd of rowdy rowers.
Yeah, I was like,
maybe he was attracted to the sound. You need the line of, what the hell are they singing about? And then he looks in. Instead of him immediately seeing it.
And then I do like the bit where John Hannah saying, oh, I should have brought Anna for a drink instead. And I also like when Anna and Helen's like, I don't know, I like this, you know what, the Monty Python boys never, I like the you never expect the Spanish Inquisition.
The initial ones,
but I wish they'd just used the first one and the last one, and none of the bits in the middle for that.
And
they should shout it when he's Jerry should have done it as well when he's chasing her down the stairs. All of a sudden, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. That would have been oof.
Everybody's born knowing all of the Beatles lyrics instinctively. They're passed into the fetus subconsciously, along with all the ammononic stuff.
Yeah, they should be called
the Feetles.
I like that.
What are you doing 2 weeks on Saturday? Probably killing myself. Excellent. What time does that finish? Do you like boats?
Oh, yeah, I like that bit.
For God's sake, Jerry, I asked you a simple question. There is no need for you to become Woody Allen.
Of course you like that bit.
Naturally. Will likes Woody Allen too, Katrina.
That bit, by the way, that whole conversation prior to her saying that line, it's a very good example of gaslighting in a relationship.
Yes.
She knows she saw two glasses there. She knows she did.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, you didn't. How dare you insinuate? What are you trying to insinuate?
Very defensive.
Yeah.
Right?
It's almost as if he wants to go and lie, get good at it. Like, it's very obvious.
The fact that Jerry has gotten away with this affair for so long. Right, let's go through them. The after sex giveaway, where he's just like, "Oh, am I having an affair? I haven't even said anything yet." And then the getting Lydia to pull up outside of the house,
beeping, yeah. On the fact that he rings the phone when Lydia's still in the hotel room.
Jerry is terrible at affairs, and somehow, but also I don't like that he's so comically bad at affairs, because it then makes Helen look stupid, and it makes you think that the character is a Dumbo.
I think it's literally just that he's gaslighting her.
No, I know that. No, I know that too. But
I think she does know. She's just willfully ignorant, and I think she's just ignoring the fact that she does know. Because it's very obvious, and she even comments on how obvious it is all the time.
Those are my special Waterford brandy glasses, and they only come out for special occasions. That's the bit that really got me, that he used her special brandy glasses for his little sexy rendezvous.
And then shoved it in the laundry basket. Then tried to distance her from her friend Anna
as well, yeah.
by insinuating that she would do it when she was drunk, even though she doesn't drink brandy.
Because then you've got the first bit where Anna goes, that sounds like something that's stupid. I'd have probably done it. Ha ha ha. And so she sort of forgets about it. But then, you don't drink brandy. And then...
oh, no. Makes me sick.
Yeah. Why is everybody so thick accented around her? We've got John Hannah and Anna, two very thick Scots. Jerry, who's an Irish. And then Jean Triplehorn, who's basically playing Alex Forrest in Fatal Attraction. Like, they're ringing up the sandwich ruse.
There's also Russell and his very strong Cockney accent.
Oh, so you come to me? Yeah.
Oh, what a twat he is.
He's bad as well. Yeah. What's the change? Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh no! What was Will's favourite line?
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Katrina. We'll have you on more often.
You can speak for yourself, William.
I just like the bit where she's there's that guy and he's like, oh, what do you do when you're not serving up burgers? And then she goes on a massive rant about all the effort and the work she goes to, and then she's like, would you like some mayonnaise with that? I think that's quite good. A nice little backhanded.
That's another bad example of Jerry. Like, she works all day, and then if she has enough energy, she goes home and gives him a blowjob. It's like, come on.
So she doesn't even say, oh yeah, I go home and have sex with my boyfriend.
It's very specifically.
She just gives him a blowjob.
And then he goes, oh, I'm tired. Can we go to bed?
What a terrible person.
Oh, it's been a long day. Have you been busy? Yeah, I went to the library and I've been writing. I was having an affair. I mean, I was at the library. Katrina, do you have any changes before we go to...
So the Spanish Inquisition bit used too much. Especially the bit where he's talking to his mum. She goes, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. I know. I don't know. Also, I can't remember, but I don't think his mum's Scottish.
No, she's not. Very English.
Doesn't make too much sense.
It's also a bit of is John Hannah too much of a perfect guy? I know that she deserves it and Jerry's evil, and so we feel good that she's finally got somebody who's worthy of her. But is he too perfect? Like, he loves his, he's got his mother and he's caring for her and all that. Is he too perfect? Do we need the scene where he does get a bit pissed off that she kissed Jerry, or that Jerry kissed her?
I think there could have been a bit where he was like, you said you weren't ready, you shouldn't have kissed me if you were still dealing with this. And then she could get annoyed at him and be like, you never rang me, you never asked me about it, you just assumed. And then there could have been a bit where they were like, right, well, we need to communicate with each other more. Because literally he just says, I didn't ring you because I thought you needed to sort yourself out. She's upset he never rang because she didn't know that, because there's a lack of communication. Yeah,
which leads us to the fact that it's technically the running time of half the film. If it was all them, then we would have those scenes. And as I talked about earlier, it's refreshing that we don't. Anything else, Katrina?
What else would I change?
We'll move to Will and we'll see if anything jumps into your mind. Will?
Yeah. I've just got 3 written down. First one, let's talk about that final freeze.
It's very awkward. And it's so clearly a freeze frame and it doesn't need to be.
It's a freeze. And then the doors slide over the top of that still image. I don't like that.
Yeah. It should have just been them going like, hold on, where's this?
Or just a fade to black, but then we've got some elevator doors closing on a still image. It just looks awful.
Yeah.
You just keep that shot rolling, and the normal doors shut. I don't know why they are superimposed doors over a freeze frame.
Well, I suppose we don't. Maybe they was a bit longer, and then they decided to cut the film there. But there was actually that scene was longer originally.
Maybe.
I've
also got the very opening scene when she's running for the tube, and then she starts running backwards.
It's so messy.
I don't like it. I know. I really don't like backwards running.
I think it would have been better if there'd have been actual split down the middle and you saw the two.
I think that would be great. It sort of reminded me of in Mr. Bean's Holiday, the Willem Dafoe movie, when he's just going up the escalator and then he goes backwards again. That's great.
Somebody who's never seen the film but knew the premise, I always thought that was going to be the opening credits. With the opening credits were going to be a split screen, and then starring Gwyneth Paltrow, starring John Hannah, and you'd have a jaunty song, and she's had her work day, and then the split screen. Yeah. She'd miss the train. She'd catch the train. Cut to black. Sliding doors. I never thought that it would have been a wacky tinkle.
And the music as well.
Oh, so here we go. This is the magical sound effect. Whenever that comes on, that's what stopped me from enjoying the film as much as I wanted.
But also, the doll girl. Why couldn't she have just tripped or something, or something other than that little girl with her doll?
Yeah, why couldn't add to insult to her shitty day? Why couldn't she have dropped something and broken something, or
her card declines and she has to do it again? Something that's less inadvertently humorous as that doll girl, whose mother just yanks her out the way.
Yeah.
So in actuality, the whole sliding doors is dependent on a mother's care for her child. And
I wouldn't call that yank caring. That was quite aggressive.
No, caring for other people.
Oh.
And they were walking on the wrong side of the stairs in London. You're supposed to. Is it? You're supposed to walk on
the side that you drive, which no one. This annoys me. Well, is it at uni? We have a lot of international students because it's just us that are awkward that drive on the left. Whoever was walking on the right, and I'm like,
My ex had a big thing about in shopping centres, the fact that you've got to do the whole thing. No, this is before COVID, and she had a big thing of because you do you walk the whole thing, and I was always moving from aisle to aisle. Depending on busy crowds.
The wind.
Oh, well. There you go. I've got Doll Girl, I've got The Twinkle, I've got Messy, I've got Sex to Betty and the Jets. The brandy spill? Ugh! That's just disgusting. Their sexy brandy play. Ooh, we'll drink some brandy, and then we'll spit on each other.
Gross.
And then they do it again with the champagne. I know that people have kinks, and I don't want to kink shame anybody, but
sticky.
Spitting brandy and champagne on one another, it can't be sexy.
Sticky.
The score.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the soundtrack. Is the soundtrack good? The soundtrack is simultaneously good and bad. As I greeted
product of its time.
Oh, yes. I greeted Katrina to the Zoom call by singing, if it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me, which is a great song. However, everything else sort of feels a bit kitschy, especially Dido. Well, I wonder why.
Which is instantly, that's my granddad's favourite song.
Ever? Oh, fair enough.
He's a very big Dido fan.
Yeah.
But
does he like that, or does he like Stan?
No, he's like an actual Dido fanatic.
Die Hard Dido. Die Hard Dido.
Yeah. But it is very much. It's a 90s film.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's very, very much product of.
I know that we're sort of coming into 90s nostalgia, but is the 90s the worst decade for aging ever?
Yes.
40s and 50s, you've got the dark, you've got the, you know, the black and white sort of sexy suits and all that. That sort of bleeds into the 60s. That and the whole hippie thing has aged well. The psychedelica. The 70s, the sort of rock has aged well. The 80s aesthetic, everybody loves the 80s. Then you've got the 90s, and it's just anytime a 90s, something 90s retro happens. Yeah.
I like the 90s a lot, actually.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
I mean, a film like Sliding Doors wouldn't work now because, and I think this with a lot of rom-coms, pick up the phone and text them.
Yes, you got annoyed with me because I wrote a rom-com and it was set in, and the first thing is this is set in the mid 80s in New York, and you were like, why is it set in the 80s again? And I was like, because I don't want to, because some of these arguments are just going to be better in person than over bloody FaceTime. Because in real life they were over FaceTime or over Messenger, and I thought,
yeah, it does make sense. It's
yeah. It's mainly just because everything I write is set in the 80s, very specifically.
You do get it.
Yeah. So I understand that aspect of it.
A little.
Yeah.
But I get as well with Facebook. I think the soundtrack, yeah.
So,
no, I think the 90s is great.
Some more changes. I know I can tell. What's that? I know. I can tell.
Is it You Kissed Me?
I know. I can tell. I can't remember.
Like
The terrible paint colour she chooses for her PR office.
Yeah.
Oh my
it's all green.
God. It's terrible.
Although I do like green.
All of the psychic links. Anytime
where she's like, I knew there'd be a rowing race on today. I knew they'd be wearing white and purple. Like, why did you have to put in the bit where you knew they'd be wearing white?
I had a dream, and you were there, and you were wearing a mask, and you. I thought, this is it's not needed at all. For the conceit of the film to work, you just don't need it. What's the change? Oh, we've done it. What's left from Will's notes?
Nothing.
Anything left from your notes, Katrina?
I wish that Jerry was less of a twat in it. In fact, I just lost my headphone. I kind of actually wish Jerry was more of a horrible person. Because you could argue that he's like terrible in that, but I kind of wish. I guess he is quite mean. But like sometimes it's played off for like laughs and things. I think you said that earlier that like he's such a bummy. Like played off for laughs. It's like actually he's just like a terrible, not nice person. I could have done without his stupid
Triplehorn
friend
becomes
Russell.
the villain. But come the end of the film, Jean Triplehorn becomes the villain. Moss and Jerry sort of becomes the guy who's just like, no, I want to get back to Helen. I've realised what I'm missing. Like, I want to get rid of Jean Triplehorn.
I think one thing I would change is the fact that she has a miscarriage when she falls down the stairs. She loses the baby.
Yeah, but that's because she needs to be with John Hannah, isn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like he'd be the type to take on someone else's kid. I just feel like it wasn't. Exactly. I just feel like it was unnecessary for her to have like lost her child in
I guess it's the symmetry.
because she seems like kind of fine afterwards. She doesn't like, one of my favorite parts of the film is like during those scenes where you can see her wig. You see like the lace front wig, and I'm like, oh, she's wearing a wig in that bit.
In Forgetting Sarah Marshall, where Kristen Bell does her impression of Russell Brand, and she goes, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Is she doing an exact rip-off of when Gwyneth Paltrow in this goes, bullshit, bullshit? It was just something I
Maybe.
noticed. It was just something.
Helen! 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 Helen, you made a mistake! Oh, I'm such an idiot! Helen, look at me. Listen to me, please.
No, you listen! I never want to see you again. I have been through enough for 1 year. I stupidly believed that he was a man who was different from men, but it is clear that I made a mistake. Now, please, do me a favor and go away.
I am married, Helen, but I am separated. Look, walk away if you want, but take this with you. The woman you saw today was the woman I married 3 years ago. We separated 6 months ago and soon will be divorced. Nothing aggressive. I didn't tell you before because I don't know why. I have wanted to tell you so many times.
James's rebound theory is really solid, actually. I think everybody's always on the rebound. As soon as you've had a big relationship, it doesn't matter.
That's what's it from? There's the it's Harry Met Sally, isn't it? The link person. It's always you need someone to get over the last person. So it's never you never go on to the next person, knowing that it's going to last forever.
It's when he's taught when she's crying about the guy from the airport at the beginning who's now getting married, and she's like, she should be his fling. She's not the one. What a film.
Here's something I would change, actually.
Shoot.
So when they're in the boat bit and she goes, "Who's your rebound then?" and he goes, "Oh, Pam." Why didn't he just say his ex-wife?
Oh, because you need it, don't you?
I know, but why didn't he? Like, why didn't he go, "Oh, well, actually, I'm just currently going through a divorce. We're we're still on good terms, but we are, we're separated."
Because that's exactly what his character would do. He would make a joke instead of being emotional.
I know, and I think maybe that's his downfall. When you were like, "Is he too perfect?" No, he's not serious with her, and he's not. He doesn't. He doesn't actually let her in because he is also going through a lot of stuff.
Indeed. It's time for a few fun facts. There isn't an alternate ending. John Hannah stopped worrying about catching trains after this film. "I don't run for trains anymore. If I'm meant to get the train, I'll get it. If I don't, there'll be another one along in a few minutes."
Except there wasn't in that film. She had to get a taxi.
She had to get a taxi and she was booked. Very helpful taxi driver who took her to the hospital. Sidney Pollack was a main reason why this film got made. Wonderful director in his own right. Tootsie. He's also in Tootsie as the agent. He also directed Out of Africa, which isn't good. The Firm, which is fine. Also starring Jean Triplehorn. And basically, he was big in the editing suite because he knew that the editing was a make or breaker with this film. And he's completely, he did good. Peter Howitt is good friends with Brian May of the band Queen and gave him a copy of the finished script, asking him to write a song for the film. May penned the song Another World, but was told a few months into production that they couldn't use it because another record company was co-financing the film. May kept the song and it became the thematic thread for his solo album, Another World.
Well, there you go.
John Hannah claimed that playing James Hamilton was the hardest thing I've ever done. Like in life, it's much easier to be depressed than to be happy. Being happy and smiling naturally on take 18 is really tough. Give me bawling my eyes out anytime.
Are you okay, John Hannah?
Yep.
Is everything all right at home?
Here's two possibilities, casting-wise. Minnie Driver for Helen. I prefer Gwyneth. I think Gwyneth's better.
Let me Google her.
She's the girlfriend. She's Skylar in Good Will Hunting.
Oh yeah, no, for Gwyneth.
Yep. Gillian Anderson. I mean, Gillian Anderson can do.
What is Helen?
As Helen.
She'd have made a good Lydia.
Ooh yeah. Oh yeah.
She'd have made a way better.
Why didn't Gillian Anderson ever make like a Basic Instinct or a Fatal Attraction where she was this sexy evil murderer?
I don't know.
That'd be great.
She'd have made a good Lydia though. She'd have made a very good Lydia.
Gene Triplehorn is in Basic Instinct, I forgot to say. Peter Howitt got the idea for the film after almost getting hit by a car. He was late in a meeting at Charing Cross and innocently walking along London's Charing Cross Road. I couldn't decide if I should run for the train or first call my mate at a public phone. I impulsively dashed across the street and was nearly hit by a car, and that brush with death got me thinking. Something inside my head thought, that's interesting. What if he had hit me? What are the knock-on effects? The domino effects. 7 years separated that fateful near-death experience and the finished product. In between, there were 20 script rewrites, thousands of pounds of debt, and one nervous breakdown. All I could do was stay in my flat in Fulham and cry and write the script for Sliding Doors. The worst lasted about 3 months. Then I slowly began to get better. Now I'm really glad it happened. He also stopped getting his hair cut until he was done with the movie.
Oh, God.
So...
Sounds like you, Tom.
I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow, I will have you know, Katrina. Also, it's not shabby. The depression I get. Terrible tagline here. Helen is about to find that romance has never been this much fun. She's not going to find that.
Oh.
This is not fun at all.
That doesn't fit anything to do with the film either.
I like the DVD's great with the flip. And it's got the same. There are two sides to every story. Helen is about to live one of them at the same, both of them at the same time. Romance was never this much fun. And then the other one is, what if one split second sent your life in two completely different directions? Helen is about to find that romance was never this much fun.
Get rid of that bit. Get rid of that bit. Either at the beginning of those two are fine.
Two top performances from Paltrow and Hannah. A delightful film that's a real treat for romantics.
I wish that John Hannah had done more rom-coms as the leading man. Yeah.
So obviously you've got Four Weddings. Let's have a quick look at John Hannah's career. Let's see. So Four Weddings and a Funeral. His other two top movies are The Mummies. Yeah. He's in an American TV show now called Transplant, where he's one of the leads. So he's raking in that money. He plays Jed Bishop, which is a good name. He was in a BBC thing called The Victim. He was in the Overboard remake. Did any of us watch the Overboard remake? No. Any of us like the original Overboard?
Never seen it.
It's fun. He was in A Midsummer Night's Dream with Maxine Peake. I presume you enjoyed that, Will?
I did enjoy that, yes.
Yes. A Touch of Cloth. Did anybody watch A Touch of Cloth?
Oh my God, brilliant. That was so
I loved
funny.
A Touch of Cloth.
That was so good.
He plays the detective in The Widower. The Other Wife. Oh, this looks fun. 2-part drama about a wife who finds out her husband has another wife and child after he's killed in a plane crash. And it's got Rupert Everett in it. Oh, that sounds fun. He was in Damages. He was in all of the Spartacus. Cold Blood. That was his big show, wasn't it? He had his own show for a while. He was in a Marple. Yeah, I can see.
I think I recently watched. Was he in Miss Marple, like an episode of?
Yes, he's 450 from Paddington.
I'm pretty sure I watched that a few weeks ago and went, oh my God, it's John Hannah.
Was Sliding Doors before Four Weddings? No, of course it wasn't. So he is in a rom-com here called So This Is Romance. which is rated 5.1. Mike's alcoholic father tells him there is only one thing to make life worth living: the Empress. To Mike, however, the Empress is love that lasts forever, not sex that lasts for days.
Sorry, I just found that he's in a 2013 film called The Christmas Candle, featuring Susan Boyle.
Oh, yes.
Oh, great.
Who is he in it? Yeah, he plays William Barstow. But yes, Susan Boyle's in it.
He's in...
And Samantha Barks, who plays Eponine in Les Mis, she's in it as well. 21%.
Yeah. Good old John Hannah. He currently lives in London with his wife Joanna Roth and their 2 children. So, and thus concludes Sliding Doors. Synopsis of a sequel. Do we want to? I was very happy that the ending wasn't the same thing again. There was at the back of my
suggestion of, oh, that's going to happen now.
No, I mean, at the back of my mind, I was thinking she's going to get the elevator, and also we're going to see just a flash of her catching the elevator and not getting John Hannah.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, thank God that
there's a child with a doll going across the vanity.
It was a weird sense that she's at peace.
I don't want any sequel from that film.
I'm pretty sure that you can rest easy and that nobody's going to touch. What about a Netflix? They could bash 10 episodes out of this, couldn't they?
They'll do anything, Netflix.
Would Netflix do 3 realities? Do you need 3 realities for a 10 episode series?
5.
I think it'd be a remake. I don't think they'd do a sequel.
And I think it would be set in America.
Yeah. Boring.
Here's a question.
I agree.
Accent-wise, why wasn't she just American?
Right, if Lydia was American, why couldn't she be American?
You know,
there were no English people.
Yeah. Like all your Richard Curtises, like his clearly his perfect woman is an American, transplant. It's Notting Hill, it's Andy McDowell, it's
No, Notting Hill is Julia Roberts.
I know. I was saying it's Notting Hill, and then I thought I should be more specific, and so I was like, it's Andy McDowell, it's Rachel McAdams. I know that I should have said it's Julia Roberts, Andy McDowell, and Rachel McAdams. I understand, and Mad Men, Betty Draper, but she's called January Jones in The Boat That Rocked. She plays the American, beautiful, wonderful, and
the one who breaks Chris O'Dowd's heart. Yeah.
Yeah, and the one she is also in Love Actually. She's one of the horny Americans who goes off with the Brits. Yeah.
Colin.
Ugh, worst part of the film. Actually, it's all bad. Colin's the entire film.
We love Love Actually. I love Love Actually.
We don't
disagree.
Love Love Actually.
But I like that you like Sliding Doors.
Yes, we did like Sliding Doors. Katrina, it's been an absolute pleasure. Currently, the next scheduled one you are in for is bit of Tarantino, a bit of Django Unchained.
Yay!
So if not for scheduling conflicts and blah 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 blah, we will see you then. It's been a pleasure. I've been Thomas Carruthers.
I've been Will Leggetter.
And
Katrina Unitt.
Thank you very much. And nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Ha ha ha.